And we are live.
Just to be fair to anybody that's watching this or watching it on the rewatch, last Friday was not my fault.
No, it was my fault. That's true.
If one of the blue moons that happens once in a generation, Richard wasn't able to do the live stream, and I'm like, ha, finally somebody else besides me. But it's fine. Anytime Richard has to take time off, as many times as I've canceled a live stream, I have no room to talk, and I have to be as accommodating as I can be. So I'm glad we're here today. I had fun last week. You joining us on the live stream Wednesday, Hump Day.
Yeah, that was nice.
And doing not a real fast speed round on theories with Lady Thistle and Lizzie, but I will go ahead and say, out of the theory videos I've done with them, that one was my favorite.
This one we did cover a lot of ground, that's for sure.
We did. We didn't get too far into the weeds. We kind of weeded out. I know your weeds a winner is your favorite expression. Weeded out some of the theories that we just wasn't even any point talking about as far as scenarios, but we kept it real. I mean, we the most popular and the most believable are the ones that we talked about, and I loved it. It was fast. We covered a lot of territory. She has that list. I don't know how many's on there, and we almost made it. I think a quarter of the way, maybe. If
there's definitely some more theories we could talk about. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. No, I think it was a couple that we skipped just because. Oh yeah. What's that stupid one? R plus L equals some letter. I can't remember the letter on, but there was no point talking to that.
Heads. It equals 3 heads, right?
Yeah. There you go. The list is infinite. Yes, you're actually true, Mother Braggins.
Chris the Crow. Let's go ahead and run through these so we can catch up to that, right? Chris the Crow.
Okay, go ahead. Run through the words of the day.
With Senator North. Mother Roy says, why is Chris always first? Also, is anyone else watching Shogun? Some of Song Rice and friends are doing YouTube commentary. I haven't watched it yet.
I did watch Fallout, though.
I started to watch Fallout.
I loved it. See, on the ride this morning, when that game came out, and then you had Las Vegas and all that, we played it. Me and Chris, we loved it. And then hopefully my sister doesn't watch this on rewatch. Her husband Carl borrowed all our copies of Fallout, and anytime you logged in and you see the other people, your friends and family network that would show up in the corner, it didn't matter what time of day you logged in. For some reason, he was always on a Fallout game, and I have no idea where the game is. Never asked for it back. I knew how much it meant to him. He loved that game, but just going off memory of me and Chris playing it, I really love the show. I think they did Fallout justice. Like I said, it's been years since I've played the game, but I loved it. I love the ghoul. I mean, it's just, I love the actor. I love the actress is playing. I mean, it's a really good show.
I've only watched the first couple episodes, but once
my second favorite game
pretty good, yeah.
/ put into a show is, of course, All of Us. Isn't that what it's called? The zombie game?
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. That's it. See, my memory sucks. That's a really good show. And then I found out this morning what The Last of Us 2 does, and I'm not really looking forward to season 2. I'll just rewatch season 1 a couple of times.
Well, they're gonna want to keep the principal actors, I think. So it could be a little different.
I'm hoping it'll be a little different. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't played the game, or at least talked to somebody that has. And I trimmed my beard yesterday, and for some reason, we get it right on this damn camera. Right here, no matter what I do to it, it's just like a turd in a punch bowl. It just doesn't want to do what it wants. I mean, it's a pain in the butt. But okay, I see it. It's driving me crazy. But all right, I know we've talked enough. You dropped out for a second.
Oh, was that me? I think it's you. Is it you?
Yeah. You dropped out for a second. It's okay. Right. I don't know.
Did you say so?
Hey, Sanji. Okay. Say in the comments who that was that dropped out, and then Richard, go ahead. What'd you say? My son-in-law is planning to teach us dungeon. Oh, Nice, mother. Nice.
Wait, we still have to catch up. We'll start to catch up here.
It's okay.
Chris the Crow used to not always be the case. Sanji gets me a run for the money still, and I haven't seen Shogun. Lizzie says, just make sure if Jeffrey asks, you never watched Fallout. It's too late. He says,
I didn't see that comment. I'm sorry. Uh-oh.
The list is infinite. We know what we were talking about there. That's our theory. The theories. That's 2. Arpacell has 30. Yeah. Arpacell has 33 heads.
Okay. In the comments, can you let me know? On my end, Richard is roboting.
It must be me then. It probably is me. This would be a good day to discuss Aegon's tax policy. I think we can all agree moving forward that we will tell Jeffrey we hate it. Hiya, says Sanji. My son-in-law is planning to teach us Dungeons and Dragons. Thumbs up. Okay, we're caught up.
I'm surprised Chris only gave that comment 1 thumbs up instead of about 20.
I was given greater praise, but that I possess more thumbs. That was the poster for Bill and Ted said Socrates.
Okay, I'm the one freezing. You hush, Chris. You're grounded.
We wanted an honest answer. Come on.
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
All right. Anyway, Storm 46, Samuel 3, or did you want to do introductions?
Oh, yeah. I was missing last Friday. I got out of the rhythm. I am Old New Dude, and he is
Richard York, Astro's trueborn son. We're going a little slow here. We're 7 minutes in.
We're having fun, though.
All right. Storm 46, Samuel 3. Introducing Maester Willis, a.k.a. Cold Hands. Hat tip to Thunderclap and Girls Gone Canon, suggesting Maester Willis is Cold Hands. And Thunderclap recently was giving another theory on Girls Gone Canon on the most recent episode, saying that Sandor protecting Arya reminds him of the sigil of House Clegane, because he kills 3 of Gregor's men representing the Hounds, and then Sandor takes a leg injury. And he was theorizing that Sandor may have lost the leg. We're a little reluctant to embrace that last portion of that interpretation, given who we think Sandor is glamored as at the end of Feast for Crows. And
well, also remember last Hump Day, I think it was Lady Thistle. It might have been Lizzie. You know how my memory is. Gave us an alternative for who Cold Hands is, being the Night's King, and being punished and having to walk the frozen wasteland in servitude to the old gods or whoever. And I really, really, really love that theory. We know
similar to what LML's been saying, that he thinks Cold Hands is back from back in that day, and it could foreshadow John's future and all and so forth.
What is it? Brian the Beauty?
Brian?
And the who we think Sandor is from Toodles.
Oh yeah. I can't remember the names of the three. Well, I mean, obviously Sir Stadrick, and then I want to say it's like Morgarth the Merry is the elder brother, and then Byron the Beautiful, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I know it starts with a B and it's called the Beautiful.
Yeah,
so, like which I mean, making the Hound the Beautiful is a nice touch on George's part.
Yeah, quite the glamour.
And we should see a lot of shyness, which the Kissing Sansa was bold, but I think with the character, we're either going to see some shyness to begin with, and possibly some blossoming as a character as far as interactions with other people because of the acceptance the new beautiful face allows him. So we might, I mean, Sandor's an onion, so we're going to definitely see some different layers.
What's the name Blue Lemons used to write that up? Blue Lemons had written that up as like Sweet Sunray or something. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look through like my text to you or something and see if I can find it. But I want to say it's something like Sweet Sunray or something. Anyway, Blue Lemons is the name on Twitter for a long time. But she wrote under a different name But anyway, both her and Toodles have a pretty good write up on those three.
Okay, before we get going, I want one more thing. All right.
Yep.
This is for everybody in the comments to leave a comment on. I pitched an idea to Richard that we should do some trading places, and he needs to buy a cowboy hat, and then in one episode, he would wear the cowboy hat, and then I would go without. He shot it down. I don't know if that was a 100% shot down. It might still be in the works, but please leave a comment giving him encouragement or just whatever you got to say to get my way. 'Cause I like it when it's my way. But no, it's okay. Me and Richard don't always agree on everything, especially with theories. We're probably about 80% on the same books. So when Richard doesn't agree with me, I actually is one of my favorite times of the live streams, is because it broaches the conversation to be had about different opinions. So I always respect Richard's.
I still say the most honorable thing I've ever done is hire somebody to give the gift of mercy, and I've done that more than once. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, Chris said that'd be a good April Fool's idea for next year.
Still.
Yeah, switching the hats and switching places on the camera. Yeah, that would be pretty good April Fool's.
So yeah. I got another year to get a cowboy hat.
There you go. I might send you one if you, Chris. You're not grounded anymore. That was pretty good.
All right.
All right. Now are you finally ready?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and reread it because we mentioned the thunderclap, and let's go ahead and reread the paragraph here. For the world of Ice and Fire, the most fascinating account of Hardhome can be found in Maester Wallace's Hardhome, an account of 3 years spent beyond the wall among savages, raiders, and woods witches. Wallace journeyed to Hardhome on a Potosi trader and established himself there as a healer and counselor, so he might write of their customs. He was given the protection of Gorn the Wolf, a chieftain who shared control of Hardhome with 3 other chiefs. When Gorn was murdered in a drunken brawl, however, Wallace found himself in mortal danger and made his way back to Old Town. There he set down his account, only to vanish the year after the eliminations were done. It was said at the Citadel that he was last seen at the docks looking for a ship that would take him to East Watch by the sea. So our characters are often misled. A biology professor skilled with ravens probably would not be wearing his original clothing and might call Sam brother in order to mislead him. But let's get to the chapter.
Could that be a simple or a slight nod to Sam taking the chain to become a maester if he is, if Cold Hands is a maester? Him calling him brother would be a foreshadowing, basically.
So he's up north and he goes to Old Town and then goes back up north again, and that's kind of echoing Sam's pattern. Yeah,
exactly, right. And then Sam on the path to becoming a maester, when he gets a chain, him and Cold Hands would actually be brothers. Brothers of the chain, whatever you want to call it.
But it does seem like based on what he says to Bran, it does seem like he's sort of a biology professor, right? He's definitely skilled with ravens. And so the question becomes, why would there be a biology professor north of the wall? And this is the only explanation I've seen for that.
I'm 50-50 on that theory and the Night's King. I love both of them. I think both of them are really great theories. But hearing a new theory on that, which you've already told me this one before, I want to say about a month ago, maybe a little longer.
Definitely
so
a while ago.
Having Thistle put that in my ear just last week, so it's in the beginning of my brain. I tend to lean that way because I like new theories, but I do love both theories. They're really great.
All right, so let's get to it.
Okay.
White Tree, Sam thought. Please let this be White Tree. He remembered White Tree. White Tree was on the maps he drawn on their way north. If this village was White Tree, he knew where they were. Please, it has to be. He wanted that so badly that he forgot his feet for a little bit. He forgot the ache in his calves and his lower back, his stiff frozen fingers he could scarcely feel. He even forgot about Lord Mormont and Craster and the Whites and the others. White Tree, Sam prayed, to any god that might be listening. Is Bran listening? You're a monster, Bran. Send your monster.
He's come a long way from one more step. Escaping the Fist of the First Men. I mean,
yep.
He's traveling a little bit better than then. So I mean, I know it's a short period of time. It's not too long. You're looking at probably a month and a half, 2 months time. Uh, but I mean, Sam is doing better as far as keeping pace, moving, not having to have somebody light a fire up his butt. He's taking charge. It shows a lot of growth in a short period of time on his character.
All wildling villages look much alike, though. A huge weirwood grew in the center of this one, but a white tree did not mean white tree necessarily. Had the weirwood white tree been bigger than this one? Maybe he was remembering it wrong. The face carved in the bone-pale trunk was long and sad. Red tears of dried sap leaked from its eyes. Is that how it looked when we came north? Sam couldn't recall. Around the tree stood a handful of one-room hovels with sod roofs.
Hey, before you get any further, anytime that there's a tree with a long, sad face, I always think of the one at Winterfell and the Starks.
Okay.
So does that mean because John notices that the tree looks like Bran, is Bran looking through this weirwood for some reason, or a Stark possibly binging? Just I don't know. It just makes me think of it when
used the last, like the Order of the Green Hand had talked about whoever used the tree last is
right.
Yeah, and maybe.
Sorry.
No, that's good. Around the tree stood a handful of one-room hovels with sod roofs, a long hall built of logs and grown over with moss, a stone well, a sheepfold, with no sheep nor any people. The wildlings had gone to join Mance Rayder in the Frostbanks, taking all they owned except their houses. Sam was thankful for that. Night was coming on, and it would be good to sleep beneath the roof for once. He was so tired. It seemed as though he'd been walking half his life. His boots were falling to pieces, and all the blisters on his feet had burst and turned to callus. But now he had new blisters under the callus, and his toes were getting frostbitten. Cold Hands is really old Nan. She knows a lot about stories and magic beyond the wall. Her exact origin is mysterious. He doesn't show up until she goes missing from the story. Old Nan equals Cold Hands.
On my screen, the top of that is cut off. I wasn't looking at this screen here. I was looking over here. And without even seeing who that was, because it was cut off, I knew exactly who wrote that. I knew that was Pod.
But it was either walk or die, Sam knew. Gilly was still weak from childbirth and carrying the baby besides. She needed the horse more than he did. The second horse had died on them 3 days out from Caster's Keep. It was a wonder she lasted that long, poor half-starved thing. Sam's weight had probably done for her. They might have tried riding double, but he was afraid the same thing would happen again. It's better that I walk. Sam left Gilly in the long hall to make a fire while he poked his head into the hovels. She was better at making fires. He could never seem to get the kindling to catch, and the last time he tried to strike a spark off flint and steel, he managed to cut himself on his knife. Gilly bound up the gash for him, but his hand was stiff and sore, even clumsier than it had been before. He knew he should. He knew. Yeah, it's interesting that there's the hand injury here that I never think of.
Yeah.
He knew he should wash the wound and change the binding. He was afraid to look at it. Besides, it was so cold that he hated taking off his gloves. Yeah, I don't think I listed Sam amongst the injured hand tier symbolism of books. See Triple Degrees, episode 5. Sam did not know what he hoped to find in the empty houses. Maybe the wildlings had left some food behind. He had to take a look. John had searched the huts at White Tree on their way north. Inside one hovel, Sam heard a rustling of rats from the dark corner, but otherwise there was nothing in any of them. Cold straw, old smells, and some ashes beneath the smoke hole. Teresa is lifting. He turned back to the weirwood and studied the carved face of him. It is not the face we saw, he admitted to himself. The tree's not half as big as the one at White Tree. The red eyes wept blood, and he didn't remember that either. Clumsily, Sam sank to his knees. Old gods, hear my prayer. The 7 were my father's gods, but I said my words to you when I joined the watch. Help us now. I fear we might be lost. We're hungry too and so cold. I don't know what gods I believe in now, but please, if you're there, help us. Gilly has a little son. That was all he could think to say. The dusk was deepening, the leaves of weirwood rustling softly, waving like 1,000 blood-red hands. Whether John's gods had heard him or not, he could not say. And my favorite picture of Asherah that looks like the blood red hands would be the banner on my channel. If you go to my channel, look at Asherah's Trueborn Son and look at the banner image there. There's a pretty classic relief from the British Museum of a depiction of Asherah,
Mhm.
and it's a tree with these leaves. They have 7 fingers on them rather than 5, but they look like hands to me.
Yeah, Evan Almighty reference.
By the time we returned to the long hall, Gilly had the fire going. She sat close to it with her furs open, the babe at her breast. He's as hungry as we are, Sam thought. The old woman had smuggled out food for them from Craster's, but they had eaten most of it by now. Sam had been a hopeless hunter, even at Horn Hill, where game was plentiful and he had hounds and huntsmen to help him. Here in this endless, empty forest, the chances of him catching anything were remote. His efforts at fishing the lakes and half-frozen streams had been dismal failures as well. How much longer, Sam? Gilly asked. Is it far still? Not so far as it was. Sam shrugged out of his pack, eased himself awkwardly to the floor, and tried to cross his legs. His back ached so abominably, from the walking, like the abominable snowman. Anyway, that he would have liked to lean up against one of the carved wooden pillars that supported the roof. But the fire was in the center of the hall beneath the smoke hole, and he craved warmth even more than comfort. Another few days should see us there. Sam had his maps, but if this wasn't White Tree, then they weren't going to be much use. We went too far east to get around that lake, he fretted, or maybe too far west when I tried to double back. He was coming to hate lakes and rivers. Up here, there was never a ferry or bridge, which meant walking all the way around the lakes and searching for places to ford the rivers. It was easier to follow a game trail than to struggle through the brush, easier to circle a ridge instead of climbing. If Bannon or Dywin were with us, we'd be at Castle Black by now, warming our feet in the common room. Bannon was dead, though, and Dywin gone with Grennan, Dolores, and the others. Well, not gone with the others. The wall is 300 miles long and 700 feet high, Sam reminded himself. If they kept going south, they had to find it, sooner or later. And he was certain that they'd be going south. By day, he took directions from the sun, and on clear nights, they could follow the ice dragon's tail, though they hadn't traveled much by night since the second horse had died. So you follow the ice dragon to get the wall from the north or the south.
Yeah.
Interesting, that. Anyway.
Yeah.
And that's one that I definitely...
That's a hint?
Ice dragon powering the wall. What?
You think that's a hint?
Yeah. I really do like the idea of the ice dragon powering the wall. And I've always thought that the intention of the showrunners was to depict the dramatic moments from the series. And so they weren't going to show us a magic horn taking down the wall because that's a little too high fantasy for the show. Yeah. But showing what sure seems like an ice dragon at the destruction of the wall. Anyway.
Yeah. I see what they did there.
Yep. Even when the moon was full, it was too dark beneath the trees, and it would have been so easier for Sam and Lascar to break a leg. We have to be well south by now. We have to be. What he wasn't so certain of was how far east or west they might have strayed. They would reach the wall, yes. In a day or a fortnight, it couldn't be farther than that. Surely. But where? It was the gate of Castle Black they needed to find, the only way through the wall for 100 leagues. Well, our characters are often wrong, anyway.
Yeah.
Is the wall as big as Craster used to say? Gilly asked. Bigger, Sam tried to sound cheerful. So big you can't even see the castles hidden behind it. They're there, you'll see. The wall is all ice, but the castles are stone and wood. There are tall towers and deep vaults, and a huge long room with a great fire burning in the hearth day and night. It's so hot in there, Gilly, you'll hardly believe it. Could I stand by the fire, me and the boy? Not for a long time, just till we're good and warm. You can stand by the fire as long as you like. You'll have food and drink, too. Hot mulled wine and a bowl of venison stewed with onions. And Hobbs bread right out of the oven. So hot it will burn your fingers. Sam peeled a glove off to wriggle his own fingers near the flames and soon regretted it. They'd been numb with cold, but his feeling returned. They hurt so much he almost cried. Sometimes one of the brothers will sing, he said, to take his mind off the pain. Darian sang best, but they sent him to Eastwatch. There's still Halder, though, and Toad. His real name is Totter, but he looks like a toad, so we call him that. He likes to sing, but he has an awful voice. Do you sing? Gilly rearranged her furs, and she moved the babe from one breast to the other. Sam blushed. I know some songs. When I was little, I liked to sing. I danced, too, but my Lord Father never liked me to. He said if I wanted to prance around, I should do it in the yard with a sword in my hand. Could you sing some southern song for the babe? If you like. Sam thought for a moment. There's a song our Septon used to sing to me with my sisters who were little, and it was time for us to go to sleep. The Song of the Seven, it's called. cleared his throat, softly sang.
He prayed to the old gods, and the song that he thinks of is to the seven.
Yeah.
It I think that shows the what's the word I'm looking for? The confusion in Sam's mind on the correct path that he should take in his life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, you get to sing.
Yeah. There's a YouTuber, Carlene or Carliene, I don't know how you pronounce it, who has a pretty good version of the song. I do not, but the Father's face is stern and strong. He sits and judges right from wrong. He weighs our lives, the short and long, and loves the little children. The mother gives the gift of life and watches over every wife. A gentle smile ends all strife, and she loves her little children. The warrior stands before the foe, protecting us wherever we go. With sword and shield and spear and bow, he guards the little children. The crone is very wise and old, and sees our fates as they unfold. She lifts her lamp of shining gold to lead the little children. The smith he labors day and night to put the world of men to right. With hammer, plow, and fire bright, he builds for little children. The maiden dances through the sky. She lives in every lover's sigh. Her smiles teach the birds to fly and give dreams to little children. The seven gods who made us all are listening if we should call. So close your eyes, you shall not fall. They see you, little children. Just close your eyes, you shall not fall. They see you, little children. Sam remembered the last time he'd sung the song with his mother to lull baby Lincoln to sleep. His father had heard their voices and come barging in angry. I'll have no more of that, Lord Randall told his wife harshly. You ruined one boy with those soft septon songs. Do you mean to do the same to this babe? Then he looked at Sam and said, Go sing to your sisters if you must sing. I don't want you near my son.
Ooh. That is freaking harsh.
I guess that does explain that he really encore. That does explain that he really wasn't too sold on septons. I always thought it was weird that he didn't decide to sacrifice Sam with the septons rather than to the wall. But right. He's really gung ho on this warrior culture, and he really thinks that septons are soft.
Right.
So, anyway, one of the reasons I kind of thought Sam would have made a good septon is that even Winterfell, the heart of the old gods, right, the capital of the region associated with the old gods, right. They use septons as their librarians. So I think that's kind of interesting that like the last chapter that Preston started over and has been going through the books, and I think the last chapter he may have done publicly anyway was Arya's first chapter, and it's really all about how she doesn't fit in doing the womanly pursuits and wants to watch the men, and then the men right. are even more toxic in what they're doing with wanting live steel to fight, right? And so anyway, he said he made the comment that it's kind of weird that the girls are being trained by septas, but the boys aren't being trained by septons. And I don't know that that's true because we know that the librarians are in fact septons. And
well, I mean, stop and think about this. They have a small sept that Ned built for Cat. So it's Cat and a select few of her children that visit that sept. So the septon and the sept, whatever he's called, the sept, what is it, septon?
Septon, yeah.
And then the septas don't have a whole lot to do. So I'm assuming that they were given the additional task of library, and it might be how good of a septa and a southern lady, or from a southern family, or at least knew southern ways, that got her the job of trying to teach the two girls the proper way, because as everyone knows, even though Ned is the Lord of Winterfell, Warden of the North, um, the King of Winter to the old gods. It is his wife that is their main focus is the day-to-day working of the castle. So even though a lot of people answer to Ned, in truth, they probably answer more to Cat when it comes to meals and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just think they didn't have a whole lot to do.
Yeah, but my point is, if you have septons that are your librarians, then they are assisting with whatever research that the boys would be doing. So if
Right.
they're so yes, they have a maester who's in charge of teaching the boys, what they need to know and their history and so forth. But they also have research assistants that are septons. So just
Right.
anyway, but we're off on a tangent, but just because I like the idea of Sam as a septon. Anyway,
One of my live streams off on a tangent. What the hell are you talking about?
yeah,
I've never heard of.
of course. Gilly's
I
babe.
didn't do it, or did I?
No, it was mostly me. Gilly's babe had gone to sleep. He was such a tiny thing and so quiet that Sam feared for him. He didn't even have a name. He'd asked Gilly about that, but she said it was bad luck to name a child before he was 2. So many of them died. She tucked her nipple back inside her furs. That was pretty, Sam. You sing good. You should hear Darian. His voice is sweet as mead. She will, and he will promise to help and then abandon an old man, a baby, and the 2 of you. And then
Do you blame him though?
that he makes a promise that he's going to take care of them and then abandons them? Yes, I blame him for that. I know.
No. Not what he did, but his internal reasons for doing it. All right, because he was.
I mean, you can
a commoner.
Press him to say that he's not, that he's totally innocent on that. I get that. I'm just saying, to me, Arya has seen Sam attack him. Sam specifically complained that he's abandoned them, right?
Right.
And people are like, "Oh, Arya, she killed him, and he'd done nothing wrong." No, he had done something very wrong. He had clearly made it such that these people relied upon him, and then deliver.
As small of a soft spot as I have for him for his internal reasonings, can you imagine how much better off Sam, Gilly, and Maester Aemon would be in Bravos with his coin coming in? Their accommodations, the food.
Right.
I mean,
but instead he squanders it all.
Right. So young and dumb. I mean, not every youth in this book can be as righteous as Rob and John, and they were taught the right way to do things and generally make the right decisions. We see a lot of internal struggles on making those right decisions, which is the right decision. And I've said it before. I've even showed a picture of what I look like at 15, and between 15 and 19, I would be worthless in this world. I mean, I'd be dead already. I mean, they'd probably send me to the wall, but
I mean, he's human. It's understandable. Anyway, Lizzie says, moment for Gilly only wanting to stand by the fire like it's a burden long enough for them to warm up a bit. Jesus, a lot to unpack there, right? Saying the implication is that she's expecting to live in a world where she's not allowed her share of the fire, basically, right?
Right, or basically beg for permission from Craster to give her some comfort.
Lady Thistle's going even beyond me. She's saying, I don't know, killing him was probably worth the boots.
Look, I'm not condoning what he did, and he's dead, but to understand the person before the betrayal, I try to take my reader's eyes out.
Sure. And part of the point is that he's complaining that Arya is like killing this person who doesn't deserve Arya to kill him. And I'm like, I don't know. Arya is aware that he's essentially, he hasn't quite killed Aemon and Gilly and the babe and Sam, but he's awful close.
But they do find a way. Something is working in their favor. It's Cinnamon Wind, I think it's the name of the ship.
Yeah.
But that betrayal, was it worth being killed? If we didn't know Aemon, Sam, and Gilly and the baby, if we weren't invested in those characters, would he?
I mean, the point is, people argue over whether Arya is justified or not, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Is not. She knows that A, he's a deserter, and B, he specifically has told his brother to depend upon his black brother to depend upon him and stranded him.
Go ahead, say it, Lady Thistle.
Anyway, well, keep going. We drank the sweetest mead the day Craster made me a wife. It was summer then and not so cold. Gilly gave him a puzzled look. Did you only sing of 6 gods? Craster always told us you Southerns had 7.
She could
7?
count.
Yeah, that's interesting that she counted as he was singing, apparently.
Right. I'm not knocking Gilly or anything. I just didn't think that she was
this was probably
even
her first opportunity to learn the names of the 7 gods, and she may have been actively trying to understand his religion and the ways of the South.
Right.
So she may have been specifically trying to teach herself, these are the names of the 7 gods.
Right.
I missed one?
Yeah, but I take it as that I'm shocked that Craster allowed her any useful knowledge other than pleasing him and
Well, at some point,
doing the work around.
Somebody probably mentioned one of the Rangers there probably mentioned the 7. At some point, somebody asked him what that was. Right,
but being able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what I'm getting at. I don't think Craster would have allowed that to be done.
The big mistake was wearing the boots. She probably knew numbers only to the point of bring me 3 rabbits sort of deal. So she had to at least.
Yeah, okay, I get that. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
7, he agreed, but no one sings to the stranger. The stranger's face was the face of death. Even talking to him made Sam uncomfortable. We should eat something, a bite or two. Nothing was left but a few black sausages as hard as wood. Sam sawed off a few thin slices for each. The effort made his wrist ache, but he was hungry enough to persist. He chewed the slices long enough, they softened up and tasted good. Craster's wife seasoned them with garlic. There's a theory that Craster's blood sausages are made from Benjen and his men. It explains why he lies about seeing Benjen. I'm not sold, but it does make a certain amount of sense.
I mean, that would be kind of a really boring ending for Benjen.
Yeah, I'm not sold. I'm just saying. I understand the concept, right? I mean, whoa, blood sausages. Oh, well, that could be people. Oh, well, maybe that's what happened to Benjen. That's why he's lying. It is a certain logical consistency through that.
Right. I have no problem with Craster. I mean, I do have a problem with him doing it, but I have no problem thinking that he would.
He could have done it. Yeah,
any opportunity. I mean, the reason that the Knights, the Rangers, and all that, they come in numbers. That is more than him. A Ranger plus I think 2 or 3 people with him. Usually, mostly I think it's 2, but still 3 people against 1 Craster. That's too many. But if he gets a straggler, wildling, or
and people have commented that he remembers the Stark look when he sees Jon, and so maybe he's seen Benjen recently. That means, right?
Yeah.
Of course, it may have refreshed his memory that Jon has this giant sword sticking up with a whoop head.
Yeah,
probably not hard to guess that's a Stark. Someone get a clip.
No. You hush. No. You're redacted. I'm not talking to you.
After they had finished, Sam begged her pardon and went out to relieve himself and look after the horse. George seems to tell us a lot about characters peeing, especially up north, but also with Arya trying to make water and so forth.
Yeah.
A biting wind was blowing from the north, and the leaves in the trees rattled at him as he passed. He had to break the thin scum of ice on top of the stream so the horse could get a drink. I'd better bring her inside. He did not want to wake up at break of day to find that their horse had frozen to death during the night. Gilly would keep going even if that happened. The girl was very brave, not like him. He wished he knew what he was going to do with her back in Castle Black. She kept saying how she'd be his wife if he wanted, but Black brothers didn't keep wives. Besides, he was a Tarly of Hornhill. He could never wed a wildling. I'll have to think of something.
But he's not a Tarly of Hornhill anymore.
Right. So long as we reach the wall alive, the rest doesn't matter. Doesn't matter one little bit. Has he already wed her by wildling custom?
He stole her.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. Leaving the horse the long haul was simple enough. Getting her through the door was not. Sam persisted. Gilly was already dozing by the time he got the Garen inside. He hobbled the horse in a corner, fed some fresh wood to the fire, took off its heavy cloak, and wriggled down under the furs beside the wildling woman. His cloak was big enough to cover all 3 of them, keep in the warmth of their bodies. Gilly smelled of milk and garlic and musty old fur, but he was used to that by now. They were good smells so far as Sam was concerned. He liked sleeping next to her. Made him remember
Just
times
like John and
right,
Egret.
right. It is a lot like John and Egret, and that may be, and it's almost like he's protecting her with his cloak, right?
Yeah,
His
he puts his
spirit
cloak on her.
symbolism.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yep.
we got the hand injury like John.
Yeah.
Now we have the stolen wildling woman
Uh-huh.
under the protection of his cloak, and
Yep.
he's used to it and he likes it.
Yep. And he'll even consummate the relationship before he's done.
Yep. You go, Sam.
It made him remember times long past when he had shared a huge bed at Horn Hill with two of his sisters. That ended when Lord Randall decided it was making him soft as a girl. Sleeping alone in my own cold cell never made me any harder or braver, though. He wondered what his father would say if he could see him now. I killed one of the others, my lord, he was saying. I stabbed him with an obsidian dagger. My sworn brothers call me Sam the Slayer now. But even in his fancies, Lord Randall only scowled, disbelieving. His dreams were strange that night. He was back at Horn Hill, the castle, but his father was not there. It was Sam's castle now. Jon Snow was with him. Lord Mormont, too, the old bear, Gren and Dolorous Ed and Pip and Toad and all his other brothers from the watch. They wore bright colors instead of black. Sam sat at the high table and feasted them all, cutting thick slices of roast. His father's great sword, Heartsbane. There were sweet cakes to eat, honeyed wine to drink. There was singing and dancing, and everyone was warm. When the feast was done, he went up to sleep, not to the Lord's bedchamber where his mother and father lived, to the room he had once shared with his sisters. When instead of his sisters, it was Gilly waking in a huge soft bed, wearing nothing but a big shaggy fur, milk leaking from her breasts. He woke suddenly, cold and dread.
I anytime there's a dream, I try to look at it, and Randall's fucking boots are looking pretty good.
I think about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I try to see if there's any foreshadowing or if there's some future event that it's telling us about. He's not at a Weirwood, but he is in a town that's got a Weirwood in the center of it. He is seeing people that are dead, but he is seeing other people too that are no longer wearing the black. Could that mean the end of the Night's Watch? The people that he knows
It
that are still alive no longer wearing
getting
black.
everything he wants and being happy with all the people he cares about and so forth. And of course,
Yeah.
Mormont's obviously not going to come back from the dead and be happy.
Oh, wait. No. I mean, if you read it, there is another Mormont that could be Lord that would be there, even though it's not the person he's dreaming of.
Bill Bear, but yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, you got his son, but you also got Mage Mormont, the she bear. I mean, there's a couple of
joining them in the Night's Watch. Jorah joining them in the Night's Watch as his father wanted.
Right.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah. The fire had burned down the smoldering red embers. The air itself seemed frozen. It was so cold. In the corner, the Garen was whinnying and kicking the logs with her hind legs. Gilly sat beside the fire, hugging her babe. Sam sat up groggy, his breath puffing pale from his open mouth. The long hall was dark with shadows, black and blacker. Her in his arms was standing up.
Spider sense.
It's nothing, he told himself. I'm cold, that's all. Then, by the door, one of the shadows moved, a big one. This is still a dream, Sam prayed. Oh, make it that I'm still asleep. Make it a nightmare. He's dead. I saw him die. He's come for the babe, Gilly wept. He smells him. The babe freshborn stinks of life. He's come for the life. A huge dark shape stooped by the window into the hall and shambled toward him. The dim light of the fire, the shadow became small Paul.
Hey, he comes for the life. Remember, we're told that in the absence of a male son, that Craster uses pigs, and then there's speculation on what they do with the sacrifices, and it's just the essence of life. That I think
life, yeah.
Right. So I don't know if the boys are actually turned into White Walkers.
Characters are off the road.
Yeah, or if it's just one that's all Crash would be willing to get rid of because he wants the baby girls to grow up to be wives, or if there's something inherently different between the life fire of a male versus a female, which chances are they would probably want the female bloodline because that is the blood that's the person that has the ability to give life. So I would think that their life fire was, if not significantly stronger than the males in that aspect. So I know there's a reason why he gives them sons instead of daughters because he wants to keep the daughters. But there's been speculation that he doesn't give them the daughters just for that very reason. There's something special about the daughters that they're not allowed to have. Sorry.
No,
I'm talky today. I don't know why. It's a little bit more talking than I usually do.
go away, Sam croaked. We don't want you here. Paul's hands were cold. His face was milk. His eyes shone a bitter blue. Hoarfrost whitened his beard, and on one shoulder hunched a raven, pecking his cheek, eating the dead white flesh. Sam's bladder let go, and he felt the warmth running down his legs. Gilly, calm the horse and lead her out. Do that. You know, she started. I have the knife, the Dragon Glass dagger. He fumbled it out as he got to his feet. Give him the first knife to Gren. Thankfully, he remembered to take Lord Mormont's dagger before fleeing Craster's keep. He clutched it tight, moving away from the fire, away from Gillian's babe. Paul? He meant to sound brave, but it came out in a squeak. Small Paul, do you know me? I'm Sam, Fat Sam, Sam the Scared. You saved me in the woods. You carried me when I couldn't walk another step. No one else could have done that. You did. Sam backed away, knife in hand, sniffling. Such a coward. Don't hurt us, Paul, please. Why would you want to hurt us? Gilly scrabbled backward across the hard dirt floor. The white turned his head to look at her, but Sam shouted, No! And he turned back. The raven on his shoulder ripped a strip of flesh from his pale ruined cheek. Sam held the dagger before him, breathing like a blacksmith's bellows. Across the long hall, Gilly reached the garret. Gods, give me courage, Sam prayed. For once, give me a little courage, just long enough for her to get away.
Hey, did Paul sense the baby moving, or did he hear Gilly? Is the baby the reason he's there?
Yeah, he's attracted to the baby. That could be why he's going that direction. That's a good point.
Okay.
Small Paul moved toward him. Sam backed off until he came up against a rough log wall. He clutched the dagger with both hands and held steady. The white did not seem to fear the dragon glass. Perhaps he did not know what it was. He moved slowly, but Small Paul had never quick, even when he'd been alive. That's one of the things about the show, right? Is they seem to have like these super speed zombies, and they're supposed to be really slow. But
Yeah,
strong.
it's like 28 days later, the fast zombies.
Behind him, Gilly murmured to calm the Garen and tried to urge it toward the door. The horse must have caught a whiff of the white's weird cold scent. Suddenly she balked, rearing, hoofs lashing in the frosty air. Paul swung toward the sound and seemed to lose all interest in Sam. There was no time to think or pray or be afraid. Samuel Tarley, he just prayed for bravery, and he's no longer afraid. It's almost
Right.
like his prayer is being granted, right?
Yeah. He's got someone on his side putting their hand on his shoulder.
Randomly being yes.
Yeah.
Samuel Tarley threw himself forward and plunged the dagger down into Small Paul's back. Half turned, the white never saw him coming. Raven gave a shriek and took the air. You're dead, Sam screamed as he stabbed. You're dead, you're dead. He stabbed and screamed again and again, tearing huge rents in Paul's heavy black cloak. Shards of dragon glass flew everywhere as the blade shattered in the iron mail beneath the wool. So we know obsidian is not effective against iron mail. We don't know if it is effective against whites.
Yes, true.
Sam's wail made a white mist in the black air. He dropped the useless hilt and took a hasty step backwards as Small Paul twisted around. Before he could get out his other knife, the steel knife that every brother carried, the white's black hands locked beneath his chins. Paul's fingers.
That seems to be their favorite move.
Oh yeah, they try and twist people's heads off. We've seen this.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Well, if they twist people's heads off, then they can't make that person into a zombie, for lack of a better word. I mean.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it, but they do it.
Yeah.
Paul's fingers were so cold they seemed to burn. They burrowed deep into the soft flesh in Sam's throat. Run, Gilly, run! He wanted to scream, but when he opened his mouth, only a choking sound emerged. His fumbling fingers finally found the dagger, but when he slammed it up into the white's belly, the point skidded off the iron links, and the blade went spinning from Sam's hand. Small Paul's fingers tightened inexorably and began to twist. He's going to rip my head off, Sam thought in despair. His throat felt frozen, his lungs on fire. He punched and pulled at the white's wrists to no avail. He kicked Paul between his legs uselessly. The world shrank to two blue stars, a terrible crushing pain, and a cold so fierce that his tears froze over his eyes. Sam squirmed and pulled, desperate. Then he lurched forward. Small Paul was big and powerful, but Sam still outweighed him. The whites were clumsy. He'd seen that on the fist. Sudden shift sent Paul staggering back a step. The living man and the dead one went crashing down together. The impact knocked one hand from Sam's throat. He was able to suck in a quick breath of air before the icy black fluids returned. The taste of blood filled his mouth. He twisted his neck around, looking for his knife, and saw a dull orange glow. The fire! Only ember and ashes remained, but still, he could not breathe or think. Sam wrenched himself sideways, pulling Paul with him. His arms flailed against the dirt floor, groping, reaching, scattering the ashes until at last they found something caught. A chunk of charred wood, smoldering red and orange in the black. His fingers closed around it. He smashed it in Paul's mouth so hard he felt teeth shatter. Yet even so, the white's grip did not loosen. Sam's last thoughts, the mother who had loved him, the father he had failed. The long hall was spinning around him when he saw the wisp of smoke rising between Paul's broken teeth. Then the dead man's face burst into flame. The hands fell. Sam sucked in air, rolled feebly away. The white was burning, hoarfrost dripping from his fingers, the flesh blackened. Sam heard the raven shriek, but Paul himself made no sound. When his mouth opened, only flames came out. His eyes. It's gone. The blue glow is gone. He crept to the door. The air was so cold that it hurt to breathe, but such a fine, sweet hurt. He ducked from the long hall. Gilly? He called. Gilly, I killed it, Gilly. She stood with her back against the rearwood, the boy in her arms. The whites were all around her. There were a dozen of them, a score, more. Some had been wildlings once and still wore skins and hides, but more had been his brothers. Sam saw Lark the sister, Softfoot, Riles. The wen on Chet's neck was black, its oils covered with a thin film of ice. Now one looked like Hake, or Hecky, whatever the most name is, though it was hard to know for certain with half his head missing. They had torn the poor Garrett apart and were pulling out her entrails with dripping red hands. Pale steam rose from her belly. Sam made a whimper sound. It's not fair. Fair! The raven landed on his shoulder. Fair! Far! Fear! He flapped his wings and screamed along with Gilly. The whites were almost on him. He heard the dark red leaves of the weirwood rustling, whispering to one another in a tongue he did not know. Starlight itself seemed to stir. All around the trees groaned and creaked. Sam Tarling turned the color of curdled milk, and his eyes were wide as plates. Ravens! They were in the weirwood, hundreds, thousands, perched on the bone-white branches, peering between the leaves. He saw their beaks open as they screamed, saw them spread their black wings. Shrieking, flapping, they descended on the whites in angry clouds. They swarmed round Chet's face and pecked at his blue eyes. They covered the sisterman like flies. They plucked gobbets from inside Hake's shattered head. There were so many that when Sam looked up, he could not see the moon. Go, said the bird on his shoulder. Go, go, go! Sam ran. Puffs of frost exploded from his mouth. All around him, the whites flailed, black wings and sharp beaks that assailed him, falling in an eerie silence with never a grunt nor cry. The ravens ignored Sam. He took Gilly by the hand and pulled her away from the weirwood. We have to go. Well, where? Gilly hurried after him, holding her baby. They killed our horse. How will we? Brother! The shout cut through the night, the shrieks of 1,000 ravens. Beneath the trees, a man muffled head to heels in mottled blacks and grays, sat astride an elk. Here, the rider called. The hood shadowed his face. He was wearing blacks. Sam urged Gilly toward him. The elk was huge, a great elk, 10 feet tall at the shoulder, a rack of antlers, ears wide. The creature sank to his knees to let them mount. Here, the rider said, reaching down with a gloved hand to pull Gilly up behind him. And it was Sam's turn. My thanks, he puffed. And when they grasped the offered hand, he realized that the rider wore no glove. Sam was black and cold, with fingers hard as stone. Up next, Storm 47, Arya 9, Knight's Honor.
Yep. This is probably in my top 10 favorite Sam chapters.
Okay.
He's stronger than he thinks. He shatters teeth with just putting the embers in Small Paul's mouth. And Small Paul, I mean, being that big, he's a sturdy person. He hasn't been dead that long, and the weakling, the coward, the fool that is Sam, takes it to him. Even though he doesn't quite realize it, he takes it to Small Paul. And him shattering those teeth says Sam is a lot stronger than Sam thinks, and us, for that fact, think he is. I mean, this shows the beginning of the side of Sam that I think we're going to see either in the Weeds of Winter, probably Weeds of Winter. I think we're going to see a side of Sam that will shock everybody.
When's the winner? We're not going to pull those weeds.
Yeah, well, we're not going to pull Sam's weed for no, hopefully not.
The we've got this great elk is another one of these extinct creatures like a dire wolf that was way bigger than things we see today, right?
Right.
And of course, shadow cats. It's white tigers aren't extinct, right? There's a gene that's still around,
Right.
and it does make tigers bigger. So the Siberian tiger is the largest tiger, and I think they might have the highest incidence of the white gene, which makes you something like 20% larger than the orange tiger.
Doesn't it put them somewhere between 400 to 600 pounds? I know the ligers can get up to like 900 pounds.
My understanding is that the Siberian tiger is basically the biggest cat, and
Right.
they have the highest incidence of the white tiger gene as well. And the white tiger gene makes you another 20% bigger, as I understand it.
Right.
So
gotta love them. They're beautiful animals.
So
just a regular tiger is still a beautiful animal.
Yeah, absolutely. But
when I was a teenager,
he loves all these large creatures, right? The bigger versions of the current stuff. Why reinvent the fantasy? Why not just take the bigger things that we used to have, or in the case of white Siberian tigers, still do have, right?
Right. Well, stop and think about it. A lot of this stuff, they're not here anymore due to man, due to humans, and they're in this world that a lot of people are saying that is it's basically nature fighting back against the stupidity of humans. And I tend to agree with that a little bit, but I love that he puts forgotten and no longer seen animals in this story. And I agree with you. Why reinvent the wheel when we've had this? I mean,
and it's kind of like his history stuff, right? I mean, he's taken. We look at the things he does, and it's nothing that isn't something that history has already done.
Right. If somebody watched the rewatch on this without sound, all they would do is see me going like this. The sad part is when I actually get to pick up the boys and I'm doing a chat on the phone and I'm driving down the road, if somebody was beside me the whole time or behind me, all they're going to see is, even though people on the phone can't see me agreeing with them, when I agree with them, I just still do the freaking head nod like a doofus. But I love that chapter. It was a really good chapter.
Yeah.
And I don't know, something's up today. I woke up at 12 o'clock. I didn't go back to sleep until a little after 2. I was tired this morning. Yeah, I know. There's cameras everywhere, man. But I'm pretty energetic. I mean, like I said,
you said there's cameras there everywhere. That reminds me. So in the last, there's a podcast called No Such Thing as a Fish, which is basically British comedians making finding odd facts and then other facts related to them and laughing and joking about them. And and one of their facts was that that high-end hotels typically have a camera in every bedroom. It's inside a bed bug trap. it's and they're like, so could they take your picture? And they're like, maybe if you had a very small penis, you stuck it in there.
Well, I mean, I've watched that on the news a long time ago. I was told how to spot the difference between a regular mirror and a two-way mirror, and you use your thumb. If the thumbnails touch, let me get this right. If they touch it, hold on before I tell you. I'm about to find out.
The reflections of the surface of the glass. I think the reflections of the surface of the glass. So the glass is in front of the metal, the aluminum or silver, in a mirror. Right? There's going to be like an aluminum compound or alloy or a silver compound or alloy. It's only metal.
If your thumbnails do not touch, it's a regular mirror. If your thumbnails touch, two-way mirror. And I watched a girl. I watched the girl. She was at a motel. She was an attractive blonde hair girl. This was summertime, and they when she came in, they switched her room. I don't know. I can't remember if they told her there was a problem with her room, but they put her in another room that was right next door to the staff lounge. And when you walk in the room, normally you got the motel, you got a one bed, two bed. Then you got over this wall, you got TV, and then you're walking straight into your sinks, and then over to your side of the sinks is your toilet and your tub. But before you get to the sink area, they put in a mirror that's not where you normally see a mirror in the hotel. And she was smart enough; she knew the thumb trick, and sure enough, the one that they added in, which was directly in line with her bed, was the two-way mirror. But it doesn't matter. If I'm going into a changing room, a bathroom, a motel, it doesn't matter. Ever since I heard that, and I was probably 18, 19 when I heard that, I automatically check to see if it's a two-way mirror, even old new dude story time. I'm sorry.
Story time.
I told you I was chatty today.
And then Vaughn says, "Yeah, we installed three-way mirrors at your house."
I appreciate that. It makes me look slimmer. I was going to show on this live stream Wednesday. I got my beard in for the Robert cosplay at FakeCon, and I showed him the wig the other day. I'm not going to show it now. I think I showed it before the live stream, but this live stream, I will. I'll be dressed up as Robert Baratheon. Not fully, but enough to hopefully get a chuckle. Oh, hey, deck of cards. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, we're wrapping up here.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. We'll save it for Wednesday. Hopefully, Richard could jump in again. If not,
People can't, but who
Yeah.
knows?
have a good one, deck of cards.
Have a good one.
No. Y'all don't have to. It's just I got a lot of the pieces for the costume, and I'm never on chat really that much with the Discord. So this is my way of just being kind of stupid funny. Kind of maybe get into a little Robert Baratheon character play, which I love to do. It tears my voice up, but I have a blast at it. I know Lady Thistle. I have a video where I dress up as Robert. She enjoyed it. Said I need to do more stuff like that. So just trying to have fun. I'm in a weird mood this week. I don't know why.
All right. Let's go and wrap up.
Okay.
No, not cosplay.
Well, I mean, whatever you want to call it.
I think she's
okay.
saying, "Don't stop twisting my arm."
Okay. Twist. Now, if I dress up as Robert, then does that mean you're going to dress up as Cersei? But you got to be careful. You dress up as Cersei, we might get some comments from Lizzie, from the Queen's song, whatever, involving Cersei and Jamie. So, which I think is the reason why Ice and Fire Con did not put out videos yet that I know of, and definitely if they do, will not show that one of Lizzie having fun with the Cersei character at that Queen's song thing.
If I had a Cersei cosplay, I would. They claimed they're going to put out the new version of Queens, and they never did.
Yeah, I hope they would.
We said or anything else.
I didn't get to see. I got really tired. So me and Chris, I ruined some things for Chris because I had to. I was so happy during the con with friends and everything, going to see this or do that or drink this. The after the initial day, every day I just got tireder and tireder. I didn't have a whole lot of energy, so I ruined some stuff for Chris. That was one of the things that I messed up for him, and I really wish I had been there for that. Somebody should have twisted my arm, but it's okay. The retelling by Lizzie, we'll just have to do it. It was pretty funny on her retelling of it. So, but okay. All right. Wednesday's hump day. We're gonna go same as last Wednesday. Try to get a shotguns list worth of theories talked about, and then Friday is Aria. Aria is always good. So I appreciate Richard, everybody that joined us today. Thank y'all for the comments on the side, and we will see you on hump day. You got anything you want to add, Richard?
No, not really. I mean, I did think it was kind of funny when Preston was doing Catlin 2, which is where I joined you, right? He mentioned that this is where you really get into the story. And the other thing I thought was funny, he was like, it's like, nobody's really come up with a good theory that explains the Shara game. I'm like, he's any time that he like assumes that everything that's in his comments is like everything that's out there and stuff. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I need to leave a comment on there that like mentions like all the things that point towards marriage, God's wife, Asherus, the Dione, et cetera, see Targaryens.
It would be nice if we could. I might actually go back and look at some of the earlier videos that we did, live streams that we did, and see if I can find one where you vocalize all the reasons that you just stated.
Put together some extra ones beyond what was in my videos, right? Because, for example, they don't see it by now; they just don't want to.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like,
well, everybody's had theories for how many years now?
Catching the word God's wife. You just Google God's wife, which is right there as Mary Masnor's title. It brings up all the stuff about Asherah.
Well, I agree with her. I mean, it's hard to change somebody's opinion that they've had for over 10 years. I mean, it's I mean, there's people that from the very beginning when the book first got really, was it 96 when it came out or something like that?
Yeah.
So people have had a hold on their own opinions on the theories that, like Lady Thistle and you both changed my opinion on a lot of stuff. And some things that I didn't think I would ever change my opinion on.
I remember. So I was like, when I was like, somebody else has to. I've been writing up some Asherah stuff for a while there, and I was like, somebody else has to have done this. I started. There's lots of people that have done it, right? And one of them mentioned, and was a seminary student who mentioned that Dione was one of Asherah's. I'm like, I did see that title on Asherah. Oh, because he's like Asherah Dione. And I was like, oh, yeah, I did see that title under Asherah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Wife. What's about the oak tree? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, well, you and Lady Thistle and Lizzie definitely see a lot of material on your research and stuff that you look through and everything like that. So I always enjoy sucking some knowledge from you and Lizzie and Lady Thistle to try to broaden my sometimes narrow-minded opinion.
One of the ones we ran into while we were doing it was the language, right? The and thing that they kind of tied. The only times where you see that applied to the Stark children are when Arya is, I think it's when Arya is thinking about them being a bastard and Ned leaving Jon out of the list, right? And that people go on to. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do love that Order of the Green. I know we don't talk about them that much on here. But when they pointed out in the very first Bran chapter, Ned calls Jon and Robb.
It's literally the first time you find the word son. If you search through the books and skip over the prologue.
Yeah.
Literally the first time you find the word son.
Yeah. Let's go find out what my sons have been up to. Yeah. Or something like that.
Anyway.
Into. But all right. There's another little tangent. I told you I'm talking today. My wife's off work, so she's in trouble.
You asked me if there's anything else, so I threw it out there. Anyway, have a good one.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Take it easy. See y'all on hump day. Bye.